All right, Sydney Brown with Memoir Mastery back. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe. Make sure that you like each video and leave comments if you would, because this is something that I am doing for free out here, and I want to be able to keep it that way. Your support means a lot to me, and it does help a lot of people get this information. So going right into this, what we want to talk about now is the top 10 tips for sharing your LGBTQIA plus story. Now, I am certain there are other reasons as well, but this is what I've come up with. And feel free to, in the comments below, just have a conversation about other reasons why you think you should share a story as well. Number one, when you're sharing your story, make sure that you're very authentic. Authenticity is the key. Be true to yourself and your experiences. Your authenticity resonates with readers. I could probably blip out where I just bumbled and laughed at myself, but I do believe that we should be authentic, and so unless I say something really stupid, I don't usually edit out things like that. So be yourself and let people see who you are. They don't want the fake you. They want to know how you feel, what you think, what your story was, as true and accurate as you can let yourself share. Number two, respect your comfort zone. So when I say it as authentic as you feel like you can share, sometimes you may not be comfortable. And I don't want you to feel like you must share something that you're not comfortable with. This is your story and you can adjust it. You can do anything you need to that. I prefer when you're doing the exercise, you pour out everything because you're talking to yourself there. Just let everything come out of you and all of the emotions, be 100% authentic. Don't hold anything back. But then when you come after the exercises are over and you're doing your manuscript for your story, at that point, you decide what of all of this you're willing to put in your story. It's completely up to you. You don't have to put all of that. Now, understand that you want to give as much as you can, because the people who are going through it after you need to know some of the stuff that they don't want to feel like they're alone or they're the only one that's going through the darkest parts. So if you're okay with sharing it, then please understand that people need to know the truth. But that said, it is a book that you're creating over here of your story, and it doesn't have to have every single detail. You can share the emotions without sharing the details. So we can talk about that if you get involved with the program. We can absolutely go through that and do some exercises and some practice. But do respect your comfort zone, because there's nothing that says you must do this. This is something you're doing it for yourself and for others. Don't lose yourself in the process. Number three, highlight your journey. So what I mean by that is showcase your personal growth and the evolution to inspire everybody else. So here you are, maybe you're going through hell, maybe you don't, you're just starting to recognize something is different, whatever your story is, and take it through, the earlier parts, let it build up to something that was maybe the darkest parts that you are willing to share, and then how you came through the other end. Obviously, you want whoever is on the other side, who's back here where you were, you want to be able to pull your hand, and bring them back with you. But again, you decide how much detail that is going to give. Now, number 4, obviously, and I don't think that I need to tell you this, but do use inclusive language. Be aware of the diverse experiences within the LGBTQIA plus community, and use language that is inclusive and respectful. I hope that's all I need to say about that. I know that, if I'm talking to someone on the street, I probably would repeat that. But anyone who's been on the receiving end of ugliness usually doesn't need to be told not to be so ugly. Number 5, stay positive. Now, I don't mean, ooh, yay, everything's great. Because I don't want you to be fake or lie. But when I say stay positive, I mean, despite the challenges, stay with some balance in your story. Again, the exercise is all 100% authentic, but in your story, in the book, try to let your reader see some good as well. So find some balance, and just don't dash their hopes entirely. Readers want to know the truth, but they also want to know that there's a reason to stay positive themselves. So help them, help them get through the dark parts. Number 6, educate while narrating. So you want to use your story to help people understand the community better. There are a lot of people out there who consider themselves allies, or at least open to, understanding and being taught. A lot of people have this much of a view into the world, and that's what they see every day of their life, and they don't know what they don't know, and they've never been exposed to different things. This is their whole world. So what you can do by sharing your story is make that person's world just a little bit bigger, and let them see that you're just a normal person. There's no reason for, bad treatment or whatever the case would be, but let them see, by reading, let them have their eyes opened, and let them become more allies. There are people out there who will absolutely judge and just be negative. And those aren't your people. They're not the ones that you want to read the book. Those, don't even worry about that. But they're the people who will pick up the book and just say, I never knew. I wondered, but never took the time to read or research. That's the person who could pick that book up and be a better parent to somebody who is going through a similar journey. Sometimes the mistakes that parents make are that they were just ignorant. It's not that they hate or were bad. It's just that they didn't know how to handle some things. So by educating as you narrate, that will actually help a lot of people, not just, other people who are coming through the same journey. It could help the people who aren't coming through the same journey, but just need to have their eyes opened a little bit. So make sure that you sprinkle in some education. Don't be preachy about it, because no one likes being preached at, but try to drop some wisdom. Number 7, engage your readers. Now, by that, if you publish your story, I would, suggest you put, like Facebook or something, have a professional page for your author, and welcome people to talk to you about it, and, ask questions. A lot of the times it's people who are willing to talk about their story after the book that really changed the world. Number 8, share diverse perspectives. Now, what I mean by this is, include experiences and perspectives other than what yours is, to represent, the diversity within the community. Now, that could be, I feel this, though some people in the community would say this, whatever those things are. You're not speaking necessarily for everyone in the community, but you are speaking for yourself. And it's really good to just say, now, my opinion is my opinion, but other people might say this, or this. Just when you do that, you show that you're an open-minded individual as well, and that you want to give some equal time to different opinions. I think that's a really great thing to do, and it does give you additional credibility, in my opinion. So number 9, be sensitive to triggering content. There's bound to be things that you will share in your story that will trigger some people. Now, if it triggers them into anger or something like that, then maybe they shouldn't have picked up the book, and sorry about their luck. They're just going to get triggered. I don't want you to be sensitive necessarily to people who aren't sensitive as well. But there are a lot of people who have been through abuse or traumas, and the things that you say in your story might also trigger, a recollection of their past. So what I would recommend with that isn't water down your story. It's just put a disclaimer on your, at the beginning of the story, on your introduction or something, and just say, hey, just as a FYI, we're going to talk about things like this. And I know that some people may have, may be triggered by, and triggering isn't always a bad thing. Triggering for a writer and a reader is actually a really good thing. You want to trigger people's emotions, and you want them to feel and go on a journey with you, but you don't want them to be hurt. And so that's why you put that disclaimer or disclosure in your story, just so you can give them a heads up, and they'll know, okay, yeah, I need to be aware of that. When you do that, I think it just, I think it's a good idea. I've taught some people to do, we've actually published a couple of the stories, and I put that in there, like a suicide hotline or different things like that, just because we're going to draw out some emotions in your readers, and I want to make sure that you are being sensitive to their emotions as well. And then, number 10, edit and polish. And by that, I don't mean, when you're going through the exercises, and I know I keep saying this, but when you're going through the exercises, you're not editing and polishing any of the exercises. You're being raw and letting that be. But over here, when you're doing your book, that's when you want to really make sure that it's structured, that it's polished, and it all makes sense, and it's fully edited. Because in that, you want to make sure that your reader is able to fully understand and take that journey with you and learn through your journey. It's an incredible experience to be able to share your story with people. It can feel very intimidating. It can feel scary, but it's incredibly empowering, and you do gain some confidence. And then once you can speak about it, it really does. It changes your life, and it can change others around you. The one last thing that I do want to say is, if you want to do this, but you don't feel comfortable about it being in your name, you can, have a pseudonym. You can work under a pen name and still share your full story. And then maybe you would be more comfortable in doing so. Completely up to you. I think most of us try to tell our own story, and it's very scary when you put yourself out there. So if you need to do it under a pen name, then if it gets your story out there, then you can do it that way. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful. You're not alone. I really think that this can be a really great experience for you. I hope that you will, in the description, I've got a little bit more information for you. If you're interested, definitely jump in and let's do this. I will be here with you, and we'll get you and your story through this.